from Nevada. We had absolutely no plans to come here. I didn't exactly explain to you the constraints of our trip together, but we were doing what we were calling Oregon bounding, which was bounding around Oregon while being bound within Oregon. But when it came down to it, it was a lot of hours to take a different route to stay in Oregon versus dip into Nevada for a bit. And so we were sitting in the warm spring this morning, and I found this place on the map, which is also a warm spring, and it has warm spring fed showers and potable water and pit toilets and picnic tables and free camping. So we're here for a night in Nevada, but it is super, super windy. So we're not going outside today. We're going to go in the spring in the morning, regardless of what's going on then, but the forecast is for less weather. So for now, I don't know what we're doing. We're just being inside.
Followed by laughter.
Needs a different type of attachment.
So good. It is so good.
This is the life you always dreamed of.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Are we living in an alien simulation? Woo!
Whoa. Coincidence? No. Did that taste purple at all? Mm-hmm. Could you taste the purple?
Taste the purple. All right, good morning from the warm spring we are camped by at this free campground. It feels warmer than when I first got in. Jess and I have had two different tactics. Mine is to stay on a spot where warm water bubbles up, and his has been to get out and get cold and then get back in, and by comparison it's warm. But I was here and like I think a frog or a fish jumped behind me, and the local coots have joined us for time in the pool, which is pretty cute. Yeah, just a little bit of colors, not much for a cloud above us, which is nice. So I'm hoping if I stay in here long enough, the sun will reach me and I will gain the motivation to go into that building and have a spring fed shower so I can clean my hair. But yeah, if you don't ever hear from me again, we live here forever in this water. If you enjoy that sunshine while it lasts, because the cloud is coming. We have survived leaving the spring and getting dry, but it definitely felt a lot colder to do than the last one. You can see we have our camp here and the spring, and Justin's out wandering. I got the tofu crisping here and a bunch of potatoes and onions cut. And then all the spices I'm gonna put in. We're gonna add some maple syrup and pumpkin seeds. And we got Frank over there in his coat. Staying pretty warm, eh, bud, in the sunshine? I think he's having a nice time. Are you having a nice time?
Yes, I'm having a wonderful time.
You knew I was gonna ask that question before I even asked it. You had your thumb coming up.
Yeah. Don't read your mind.
This looks so good.
I'm so excited.
You're what?
I'm so excited.
I'm sitting down by the heater to eat this. Tasty food, warm space. Very nice. We are well fed, rested, and we've pretty much got the van ready to roll. And we're headed out across the desert. It's sunny, but very windy. And there are some quite dramatic clouds all around. Should we go back?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna get really wet
Yeah.
really quick.
It doesn't look like something that's gonna just pass in a moment. The weather turned so fast. I'm really glad that we decided to come back. Especially because it is snowing and it is sticking. And I think our road today is going to take us into higher, snowier ground. So it'd just be nice to do that with daylight hours and lots of time to spare, so we don't feel rushed and we can be safe. A little bit of it is route I haven't driven before, and then shortly after getting back into Oregon, I'll be in more familiar territory, place I've driven a few times. So I'm looking forward to it. And yeah. Over by the shower building, there is spring water, like cool spring water that is tested. It's clean. So we're gonna fill up all our water and hit the road. Thank you for helping with water chores.
Absolutely. Now we will be hydrated.
And we won't.
Dehydrate.
Exactly. Hydrate or dihydrate. Don't forget that.
Waking up somewhere with someone somehow.
This is nuts.
This is nuts.
Why I've never driven this road. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
So we safely made it to Lakeview, which is a town I'm very fond of for no particular reason. And we got a bit of groceries and gas, and we just had a dinner at the Snack Shack, which is just like a classic American food. Yeah, classic American. But yeah, we're gonna continue west now. Hey, good morning. We spent the night just down some random forestry roads somewhere west of Lakeview. I'd been having a bit of a headache on and off all day, and oh, look at this nice tree. So yeah, I'd been having a headache kind of on and off all day, and it started to get worse like on the drive. And then after we like pulled in down this forestry road, I started to go downhill really fast with like a lot of like migraine symptoms and stuff. So we went to bed pretty early. I think I was asleep like 7:30. So it didn't get as painful as some other migraines, but I definitely was still like really nauseous this morning, and just overall just feeling really crappy and run down and just like weak. And yeah, that has mostly passed now. I just have a bit of a headache, so we're just packing up. Gonna hit the road, drive at least into Klamath Falls to get some like breakfast sandwiches or breakfast burritos, and then just like see how I feel and see how the day goes. But we are making our way to the coast, and I want to make a stop in Medford to go to Trader Joe's and REI. There's also this random like little like old rundown cabin like right by where I ended up parking. I just pulled off the main road and just parked on the side of this like smaller branch. Nobody's come by. It's been really, really quiet. It's been really nice to be back in the forest, and I was pretty happy to wake up today amongst the trees, amongst some pretty big pine trees, even if I was feeling less than stellar. We are on the Pacific Crest Trail, trail number 2000, going for a little walk. Although it doesn't look anything like I remember, and it's a little harder to walk in this snow, but thankfully there is a bit of a packed down track we can follow. And we're going in search of a blaze. We need to see the PCT blaze on the trail. How does it feel to be back?
It feels good. Feels very snowy as well.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the most
beautiful though.
Yes, I agree. It is beautiful. It's really neat to see it in a different way than we experienced. We weren't hiking together when we got to this section, but we had met up in Washington and hiked a bunch of Washington together. And then we didn't meet up again until Southern California. So we were having our own individual journeys through here. I was having a very hard time. I was experiencing a lot of pain during this part of Oregon.
Yeah.
You as well.
Me as well.
Yeah.
My back. Yeah, I had serious back issues. It was really tough.
For me, it was my feet. And yeah, it's hard. Actually, I have no distinct memories of this section of trail north of the highway. I remember having lunch nearby at Trout Lake and hiking south from here, but I don't remember anything between here and Crater Lake. So, yeah, it's great to be back. I'm glad we actually get to have a little hike on the PCT together. Had a delicious coffee and lunch in Klamath Falls, and thought it'd be fun to stop for stretch our legs on our way to Medford.
It wouldn't be the PCT.
Wouldn't be the PCT if you were walking over Deadfall. Justin and I met in 2018. We both through hiked the Pacific Crest Trail southbound from Canada to Mexico. And then the next year, 2019, I did a section with Frank from Cascade Locks to the Oregon-Washington border back to Canada. So we hiked all of Washington. And during that time, Justin, aka Camel, is his trail name, joined us from Cascade Locks. Almost to, what was it, Trout Lake? Almost to Trout Lake. And then he went back and we continued on to Canada My trail name was Naps because hiking with Frank required hiking Frank's trail, and that meant avoiding heat and taking time for him to rest and for us to like hydrate and have a good lunch and stuff. But aside from those two hikes, this is my first time back on the Pacific Crest Trail, I guess since 2019. So it's pretty cool. It's really neat to be here and feel once again that this like little ribbon of trail, if you follow it that way, will take you all the way to Canada. And if you follow it that way, it will take you all the way to Mexico. And at the time I was here, you know, I'd already walked so far. I'd walked all the way across Washington, most of the way across Oregon, because we're not that far from the Oregon-California border. And yet, it wasn't even halfway. We still had so long to go. I was less than 2 months in to what ended up being a 5.5-month walk at this point. And I hope to do all the sections again. Because I've done Washington a second time, so I'd like to do Oregon, and then California is broken up into 3 sections, so the trail consists of 5 main sections. So I have 4 more to go, as well as some shorter sections I missed the year I thru hiked due to fire closures. So yeah, but we haven't found any blazes. We're on our way back. We hiked about a mile up it, and it's not really the most well-blazed trail. And I also don't have a ton of energy today. We have other things on our to-do list. But it's been very nice. Very nice to walk in the snow. Glad for a sunny day. Glad that it's, you know, pretty warm as far as hiking in the snow goes. Manzanita, drink of water.
Manzanita, drink of water. Absolutely.
Me too. Well, hello from Medford, Oregon. I just went to, there it is, REI behind me. I had a really weird thing the other morning where I was boiling water for coffee, and the stove just stopped and wouldn't relight at all. I tried again a little bit later, it wouldn't relight.
Yeah, so random.
Yeah, but then like that night or like the next day, it just worked fine. I figure it's such a small thing, I might as well have an extra one on stock, especially because it's like a REI sale right now, so it's 25% off. And then just over there is Trader Joe's. It's like my I love going to a grocery store. But what's it like being in a Trader Joe's with me?
It's like watching a kid in a candy store, for real.
Yeah, most excited person in the grocery store every time.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want that, and that,
yeah.
and that.
Yeah. It was really fun. So we're loaded. We're fully loaded with food and stuff, and we're clearly in town after dark. And we've been discussing plans for heading west. I just checked the weather, and we have, after tomorrow, there's a bit of rain in the morning, and then we have full sun for the rest of our time together to enjoy the coast, which is perfect.
Yeah.
We played it so well, avoiding the storms and like minimizing rainfall.
Yeah, absolutely.
Minimizing snowfall.
Yeah. A little wind, but like I'll take that over.
Yeah.
Bomb cyclone.
Yeah. So you're downloading all the public land maps.
Yes.
So we know what's where in case I get tired. But I think the plan is tonight to drive all the way to Reedsport, because most of the drive is on the I-5, which I hate. It's my least favorite road I've ever driven on. And I figure like Sunday night is probably the best time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we're just gonna go for it. And I have Frankie, look at this. Hi, Frank. Are you having a nice little moment? Franklin. I really appreciate when parking lots have like, you know, an adequate amount of like nature that I can let him out in, and he's not going to go far. So yeah, he's just having a little outside time before we get on the road and do this big drive. I generally avoid driving at night because I like to see places, but like the I-5 in my experience has never been interesting off the side of it. Yes, Justin is shaking his head in agreement. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't hate on it quite so much, but you gotta have a least favorite highway, and that's my least favorite highway. I avoid it at all costs, so we're just gonna do that, get it over with at night. We did not make it to the beach last night, but we're kind of on the coast. It feels like the coast. I got off the I-5 and suddenly started to get very tired. So we just slept on the side of the highway and then moved this morning a little bit to a boat launch where there's an outhouse. How was your first highway sleep?
Wasn't bad at all. The traffic was very minimal.
Yeah. We also didn't move any stuff. Yes. I did not feel like moving stuff last night. I wanted to keep the front seat empty for easy moving this morning to be by outhouse. It's the downside of being on the side of a road, especially if there's constant traffic. It's hard to go for a wee or dig cat holes. So we're here. We're just chilling, having a cozy morning. And I had a few people who, when I was teased that I was going to have a roommate in the van, thought I was going to get another dog. And Frank has adjusted very, very well to having Justin on board. How do you think Frank would feel if I got a second dog?
I don't think he'd like it. I think he is okay with me being in his space, but also I think he knows that it's not a permanent thing.
Yeah.
Whereas if a dog came and was getting your attention, he might not be okay with that.
There you go. Straight from the person who knows Frank best, aside from me. Frank does not want a doggy friend. We have made it to the Oregon coast. I'm so excited. My first trip ever in the US, living in a van. I came down, I planned to drive the coast, and the weather was so bad. I made it to Newport and I just beelined inline to Bend. So I'm really excited to spend the next few days exploring the Oregon coast from here, northbound for a while. So thank you for joining me with this trip across Southern Oregon from Nevada, and I hope you will join me in the next video for our trip up the coast and the end of my time together with Justin. It's gone by way too fast, but I have very exciting things coming after we part ways. So I look forward to sharing that with you a little later, but for now, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your time with me, sharing in our adventures. A huge thank you to patrons and channel members. I'll see you soon.